Josefina Monasterio.
Welcome back to Empowerment with Dr. Josefina, and I'm Laura Guttridge. First off, of course, we'd like to thank Bedazzled for providing Dr. Josefina with all the lovely outfits you'll see her wearing on the show. And that was like got a nice little green kind of shine to it.
Yes, it might look black on TV.
It's like a dark green. It's very sexy.
Very.
Thank you, the ladies at Bedazzled, for doing that. And then to get right to the lesson, growing our self-esteem. And, you know, in lesson you say we truly have to believe that we are worthy of happiness to even start off in the right direction here.
Exactly.
And that a higher self-esteem, the more high it is, that the more likely we are to have, you know, healthy relationships and not have destructive, toxic ones. And a couple times in the lesson, you do refer to the fact that high self-esteem doesn't necessarily mean, you know, if you have a high-paying job,
Exactly.
a big car.
Exactly.
A lot of these things can mask a low self-esteem, can't they?
Absolutely.
And you talk about being a spiritual sort of like inner core thing. That's kind of hard to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain that, really what you mean by that?
Okay, I will try. When I'm saying about self-esteem being a part of our being, the core, is what you think about you deeply. It doesn't have anything to do with somebody else's opinion, or you can be, there is different levels of self-esteem. Somebody can be excellent in their job, but in other areas of their life they have low self-esteem. So it's different levels. So when we talk about that spiritual, in spiritual terms, it's knowing who you truly are. Because once you know, and that comes with reflection, that comes with meditation, that comes with working on finding out what is your purpose in life, what are you here for, what is your gift. And once you start honoring those values, your core values, then you're developing your self-esteem from a different level.
Right, and I see what you mean about it being a personal thing, because you also talk about how we can fool people into them thinking that we have this high self-esteem, but we know within ourselves, but we're the only ones that know that.
Exactly.
It's a very personal thing. And sometimes I think it's so intense that we may even fool ourselves into thinking that we have this high, but there's always that little thing in the back of our mind that tells us we don't. And I think it's important that we take responsibility for this, achieving a high self-esteem.
Absolutely.
And an example is, like, say going to college, get a college education. You could have like the best job and the biggest car and, you know, a great wife and kids.
Exactly. But sometimes those material things, basically what they are saying is, look at me, I'm important. I have a nice car, I have this, I have a beautiful wife or a good-looking husband or whatever. So that is, sometimes it's a reflection of poor self-esteem when you're really flaunting it.
Yes.
When you say, look at me, pay attention to me, pay attention to me.
And then in the back of their minds, they know that there's something that is
missing. Not right.
Right. And they don't want to share that with anybody because they almost don't even want to admit it themselves.
Yeah.
So you do have to take the responsibility to make sure that you have all the bases covered there.
Exactly.
For this true self-esteem.
And uncovering the bases is again, Laura, is who are you?
Right.
What do you want? What is your purpose in life? And once you start honoring what you discover about yourself, then you find that happiness, then you feel worthy of happiness. You have, you know, when you approach life with passion, like you know, because you have a passion for things. But people who discover their passion and do nothing about it, then you have it. Miserable, unhappy people contaminating everybody else.
Yes. So
get away from me. Don't call me. Don't talk to me. Don't email me.
No toxic people. So it's really about this personal relationship with you and yourself.
Exactly. And then people who have the sense of achievement, every one of them believe in something bigger and greater than self. You know the best Coke in the planet, you know, the best cookie or whatever you want. Well, how do you say that? The best what?
The best, the sweetest.
Yeah, the best. Yeah.
The sweetest honey.
No, yeah. Well, I think I would say yeah.
She caught me off guard there.
Are we having fun today?
The
or
best
what?
day at the beach. There we go.
Absolutely. So anyhow, so they believe in something bigger and greater than themselves. So you know that you are not the best, and you know there is something out bigger than you can look up to, you know.
Right. We have to be humble in
Absolutely,
our lives.
yeah.
And to know, because if you think you are like the greatest
Yeah.
ever, then you may not ever achieve that personal
Right,
self-esteem you're talking about.
Right.
Because
That's the cockiness of the flesh,
right.
not the strength of the spirit. So how you want to live your life when you're developing that positive self-esteem is with the strength of your spirit. That's what really gets me going. Because, you know, when you're just basing everything on the cockiness of your flesh, then you're going to be, you know, arrogant, and you think that you're the best thing ever happening on the planet,
Right.
and so on. So go ahead.
a lot of it has to come from within. We have to, and I think that's where meditation comes in, because sometimes you have to stop and really think about these things. You know, what's important to
Yeah.
me in my life, because what is important for me might not be important for somebody else.
Absolutely.
So we all have different levels of achieving our self-esteem.
Exactly.
And it does take work.
Absolutely, because, you know, to sit quiet and make that self-discovery is sometimes is very challenging, because it means that you have to start making changes. You might have to let go of many things in your life when you start making the self-discovery, which, like you said, that's one of the tools that are very productive in that area, is meditation, because that's when you really block out the noise and the distraction of the world, and the world is very noisy. But there's nothing more beautiful than the power of silence.
That's right.
That's my thing.
Sometimes with, you know, the busyness of everyday life, we forget about, you
Who
know,
you
that
are.
core self.
Yeah, for you forget who you are. Do you forget who you are today?
I'm pretty sure I know who I am today.
No, me neither. So, Robert, we have to say sayonara.
Adios.
Adios, all my fans in England. Mwah, we love you.
Yes, we do.
We're gonna be right back with the lesson. Thank you, baby.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Empowerment with Dr. Josefina Monasterio.